Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and in today's video, I am going to be doing some crypto trading setups on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. Guys, we're not going to spend too much time in the intro because I'm already running late and I have a massive meeting to get to, so without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Guys, the very first piece of technical analysis that I want to do in this video is on none other than Bitcoin. As you guys know, Bitcoin had a huge breakout last night. We rallied all the way to $65,000 overnight after rallying 8.5% in just a day and a half. The very first trade setup I want to give you has to do with this breakout. As you guys can see, our actual level of resistance is sitting at almost exactly $64,900. This has double topped at the moment, but if you guys will remember from the daily chart, we have a bullish MACD cross that we are contending with that happened just a couple of days ago right here. This indicates that Bitcoin should be rallying much farther, probably up to $70,000 based on price targets that we've done in other videos. So here is your first trade setup, guys. I'm going to go ahead and draw our price target up here at $70,000 and lock that in right here, and this is how I would go about trading this market if I weren't already late for a meeting. I would personally put a trade entry right here at $65,500, which I'll go ahead and draw right here. I would then take profit just below $70,000. Again, we talked about that level of resistance in the previous video, so I'll let you go back to that. And I would also put our stop loss right at about $64,750, and I'll show you exactly why. Take that back. I'm going to put that at $64,500 actually. That's going to leave us with a 3.5x risk reward ratio right here, as you can see. A price target of $69,000 and a pretty safe stop loss. Entering this trade right here with the full faith and backing of the RSI being low, with the MACD crossing bullish, with the fundamentals looking phenomenal right now, and with the fact that volatility and volume is rising, this is likely a strong trade that you should consider entering. One thing to keep in mind though, guys, is that whenever you are trading Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, you always want to have a plan, but if you stick to that plan bar none, you could be leaving some gains on the table. It is wise sometimes to go off script, to break your plan, and use wisdom and the experience that you've accrued through your time here in the market. All right, so that's the first trade. Let's move on to Ethereum. Guys, this one is going to sound a little bit familiar because Ethereum's chart looks very similar to Bitcoin's. We can see that Ethereum has resistance at exactly $2,400 right now. And if we go out to the daily chart and use Fibonacci retracement, I personally believe that this market is going to rally to its next Fibonacci level after this one. You can see we've already hit the 1.618, but I actually think we're going to $3,184 in the next several months. I don't think that's going to happen right away. That might take a few months, but I'm going to be interested in splitting the difference. If we come back down here to the hourly chart, I could very easily see Ethereum rallying to $2,600 relatively soon. I'm not as bullish on Ethereum as I am on Bitcoin because Ethereum has already had a massive breakout, whereas Bitcoin has not. So with that in mind, I'm interested in opening a long position right here around $2,420. Let's call it that. I'd put a price target around $2,575 for reasons I'll show you in just a second. And I would also put our stop loss right around $2,350. That is going to give us a 2.21 risk to reward ratio. It's going to allow for a 6.4% gain. With leverage, that could easily be up to 64% or even higher depending on what you're using. And we would also have a conservative stop loss right here in this zone of support that we built over the last 4 hours. Again, in the exact same way that we have on Bitcoin, we have strong volume coming back in. The MACD is very bullish, and the RSI, while it is bullish, still has a lot of room to run. Okay, cool, guys. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to ADA. Whoa, guys, something very interesting happened on ADA last night. We rallied all the way to a new all-time high at $1.55. Shout out to everyone who is holding Cardano. Down here in the hourly chart, I'm going to show you exactly how I would go about trading this. This one I'm going to set up a little bit differently because, quite frankly, I think we're probably going to go right back to where we went last night and perhaps a little bit farther. This is going to be a very small trade, but I think a very profitable one. I would personally set an entry price right here around $1.49. I'll show you why in a second. We're also going to put our price target at $1.45. Again, I'll show you why in just a second. And I'm also going to put a stop level at $1.45. Let me go ahead and show you this. And the reason that we are putting this here is because this is our level of resistance. We want to enter the trade right around our level of resistance at $1.49. I also want to go ahead and exit our position right below the new all-time high. Not at the all-time high, because there's a chance we rally almost to it, but not all the way to it. You don't want to miss your exit. And then we're also going to have a pretty wide berth of a stop loss because there's a ton of volatility in here, and we don't want to accidentally get stopped out. One very important thing to note on a trade like this is that it is absolutely critical that since it has such a low risk-reward ratio, like 1.25, that you're watching watching this trade like a hawk and you're using wisdom in this trade. Quite frankly, I would go with the Bitcoin and with the Ethereum trade before you went with this one, simply because we've already seen a lot of volatility on Cardano. But if you're interested, this is a trade setup that you could use for inspiration. One thing I want to mention before I go is that trade setups that I do on this channel are simply for the purposes of giving you an example. I'm not saying that you should go and follow these exactly, although I do think that each one of them is a solid trade setup. Remember, use wisdom, and I don't know what the market's going to look like in 4 hours when this video comes out, so that's why we talk about teaching you guys technical analysis so that you can go and make these trades on your own. If you're interested in learning more about technical analysis, the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy is linked in the description box down below. We had over 100 people join with the April 2021 coupon code. Shout out to everyone who took advantage of that. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. I really hope I'm not late. Peace.